All right. So, what have I been up to? Well, I got several things going on. I just figured I'd just kind of condense them all into one video, just share my hobby with you. Um, let's see, we're gonna go over the Beta FPV O4 Pro. We're gonna go over my update on the Dolphin back here, what I've been messing around with. We're gonna talk about the GX12 a little bit. Like I said, this we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the HDZero Halo. Super excited about that. I'm going to talk about my digital O4 75, and then we're going to talk about my digital O4 Pro 75 experiences with that, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun with that. And then anything else? No, I think that's it. Again, that all my opinion. This is just me and my hobby, and whether you agree, awesome. If you disagree, awesome. This is just my take on this stuff. All right. And I just like making videos as an extension of my hobby. So I just figured, what the hell? Instead of trying to do a video for each and every little thing, because I get going so fast. I got so many projects up in the air. Like another one I want to do is I want to take my old TP3 that I used to have a Vista on, and I'm disassembling it now. I've still got the old Ghost receiver on it. I'm gonna put a DJI O4 on this. So that's another little project. But anyways, so let's start off with the GX12, and then we're gonna move through this stuff, and then we're gonna finish off with this O4 Pro tiny lifter that I've been working on. And because this is my favorite, obviously it's my favorite. I've been doing these things for several years now, and I'm stoked about where FPV has gone to. But let's talk about the GX12 real quick. So GX12, it's got it's got Gemini, and it's got dual crossband and all that stuff. And is it overkill? Hell yeah, it's overkill. It's overkill for the average everyday person. We ain't gonna need all that it can do. But for me, like, why not? If you can have it, why not? I mean, it's no more expensive than anything else. The receivers are the same price as TBS Crossfire, but now you get 2.4 and 900 simultaneously. So what's the better? So number one, why not? Maybe you don't like the long antennas, which I grit my teeth at reinstalling long antennas on my quads again, but I'm not going to use them for everything. I'm not going to use them for everything. I'm going to use the crossband Gemini thing. I'm going to use it on my expensive rigs, right? So if it's going to carry a naked black magic, a Z cam, if it's going to probably be flying around overhead of people, civilians and stuff, I am going to run the Gemini crossband Radiomaster receivers on it. Just a little bit less chance that something could go wrong and end up injuring somebody and end up making me look bad and making me lose work or what have you. So I'm going to do it for safety precautions, not only for the people around and civilians and stuff like that, but I'm also going to do it to try and protect my equipment. My freestyle, my whoops and stuff like that, I'm just going to run 2.4. I hate them long ass antennas. Them long ass antennas is so 2020. Now we got the little 2.4 and stuff like that, and I've been flying those for a couple of years, and as ELRS has shown, it's long range god. I mean, you're not you just, it's going to take you as far as you want to go. Your video is going to die out many kilometers before the receiver goes. So yeah, 2.4 for whoops and 3-inch and 5-inch and 7-inch stuff. But you know, once I look at long range stuff like the Dolphin, it's gonna have the crossband and stuff like that, work stuff, things around people. I'm going to run the extra precautions. As far as the radio, I love it. I was it's not over there. The Jumper T20. Jumper T20 has been my favorite radio since I got it. Not as trustworthy in my book as Radiomaster. Had a hiccup with it, so I wouldn't let this be my primary driver for things that are important, you know, work or something like that. It didn't fail during flight or anything like that. It just one day when I go to power it on, it won't power on. But everything else outside that's been great. I would still use this, but I'd take a backup radio. Radiomaster has been solid since the day they came out. Jumper, since the day they've come out, and this is the second time they've come out. Basically, they're always, I don't know. There's always just something not quite up to par with their competition. Other than that hiccup, this radio, I love it. I love it because of its ergonomic size. I love it because of the built-in antenna that rotates and flips out of the way. I love it because of the sticks. You can adjust the throw vertically and horizontally. And for me, since I have it's uncomfortable for me to pull all the way into my palms. I'm less likely to come full extension. I'm usually going to stop about 3/4 of the way. But with these gimbals, I took them 2/3 of the way in horizontally, and I brought them in vertically and recalibrated, and I have a much shorter throw, but I can fully extend these two ways, and I can hit the edges. So yeah, it's more sensitive, but you just configure your rates and stuff to handle that. But it's not dual. It's not crossband. So I went with this, and lots of people were complaining. Smaller gimbals, they're not full-size gimbals. Okay, whatever. Just adjust. I mean, make adjustments. There's been no change in the way anything feels or flies when I'm going with it. The other thing that people were complaining about was these switches up here. It's not good for thumbers. It's not good for big hands and stuff like that. And maybe if you got huge hands, maybe not. But that gave me pause listening to several people putting out negative videos on it. But I wanted the dual band Gemini stuff so bad that I said, let me go ahead and do it. Most of the time when people are complaining about stuff, they're nitpicking. And so I thought there's probably a good chance this is going to be a nitpicking scenario. And when I got it, when I was holding it in my hand and I was doing my first flights, I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't used to it. The switches weren't in the traditional location that I'm so used to from the 16S and stuff like that. But you know what? 5 packs in, no issues. I'm a hybrid pincher thumber thing. I can hit this switch all day long over here. There's no issue. There's no problems for me. I really don't understand the negative info that was being put on the switches and stuff. And you can customize these if you want to, and I don't. I mean, they're fine. They're not in my way. Everything is accessible. It's about the same size as the Jumper and the Boxer. It feels really good. I've got my momentary switches, default momentary switches right here. Let me see if I can get you a better shot. I got my default momentary switches. Oh, over here. Default momentary switches here. That's a go-to. 2025. 2025, every radio should have momentary switches, and everybody should be using pre-arm on those momentary switches. It's 2025. So you know, all I'm gonna say is about this radio is, again, I don't understand why there was controversy or whatever associated with this radio that came out. It's great, but again, I didn't understand the controversy about the picture in picture on the G3s. It's fucking amazing. It's so damn helpful. The key is when you double tap to turn the picture in picture on, don't be looking down, because that's when it calibrates the optics of it. And if you're looking down like this and you double tap, it's going to be kind of looking down, and then when you come up, you got to kind of over exaggerate because it calibrated incorrectly. You want to pull your head up, double tap, and you're looking straight ahead, and then you can check phone messages, you can grab your vape, you can light a cigarette, you can find your radio, which is generally what my issue is. I forget where my radio is. I put my goggles on, I collapse them down, and they're in the right spot, and I'm like, oh yeah, where's my radio? And you don't want to just start feeling and knock your radio off, so it's just a doo-doop, and you look, and there's your radio, grab it, doo-doop, and you're back. You know, if you use GPS, you can, with position hold, you can put your quad in position hold and did it, and looking like, oh, they want me to do this real quick. They just sent me a text, or my friend or a buddy or somebody's driving to me, or I can just take a quick hit of my bait, put it. Obviously, 3-minute flights, stuff like that, you're just going to take, when you land, you're going to hit your vape, cigarette, what have you. But when you're flying for 6 minutes, 15 minutes, stuff like that, you may want to take a momentary pause and grab your vape. But like I said, generally, I'm just trying to figure out, where did I lay my radio down? And I don't want to mess my goggles up, my positioning to find it. I can just do, and there's my radio. Or I can plug in a battery without having to take my goggles off. I can literally just unplug and swap a battery with my goggles on. It's minute little things. It's minute little situations that just makes things easier on you when you're out flying. If you're busy, if you're working or whatever, you can just flop, switch batteries real quick, back, you're off and you're going. I love it. I don't understand the negative hype it got. And as far as the zoom thing, whatever, it's no different than putting on a pair of goggles. I mean, you just get used to it. It's just no different than putting on a pair of goggles. I just think sometimes we get too nitpicky about things, and then people hear and then don't give things a fair shot. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is not an issue for me. This is a fucking blessing in disguise for me. All right, so what's up? Next thing, let's do some of my notes. Let's get to this. Okay, so if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm a DJI pilot. It's got the best video quality. It's got the best penetration, and I've become spoiled in this hobby, starting out on analog for a few months and then going to DJI. That penetration, I just do not want to sacrifice it. It makes the likelihood that I'm gonna lose my quad that much less likely. It's just a safety precaution. Plus, the video quality is amazing. But I know a lot of people love HDZero, the latency and stuff like that. Well, I had 2 pairs of HDZero modules that go on my analog, my HDO2s. I've done a lot of testing. I've got a series of videos out there where I'm out there flying HDZero and DJI. I just bought a couple months ago. I did the Lux Cam and AIO that came out. Working on putting it on one of my fly lens 75s. I've got a box over here with a ton of HDZero AIOs and cameras and stuff that I don't fly. I support HDZero. I support Carl. I support those of y'all that love HDZero. It's not my forte, but I keep dabbling in it because I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful because I want to love it. But it's just not for me until now. What I love about this is I finally have a way that I can support the HDZero community. I can support Carl, because the thing what I love about HDZero the most is not necessarily the equipment, obviously up until now. I love Carl's involvement with the community. A nice guy, a good guy, no ego, and FPV is somebody I'm always going to support. And it's always killed me that I just couldn't fully buy into the HDZero ecosystem. But thank you, Carl. Now I have an opportunity. If you don't know what this is, it's been out for a few weeks. Evan Turner and I can't think all. Several people have done videos on it. But it's a nice little. There. Get there. It's a nice little HDZero flight controller. All right. Nice little HDZero flight controller. Couple different things are amazing about this. One, the non-amazing things, the normal things. So number one, it's got GPS, programmable LEDs. You can have up to 4 programmable LEDs on each corner. It's HDZero and DJI compatible. I now can support HDZero and run my DJI links. I'm thrilled about that. I finally can support HDZero and Carl and the HDZero community in a way that I can enjoy my FPV. I can still have my penetration. I can still have my amazing link. I can still have my amazing video. On top of it, even probably more important to me than the freaking DJI, the fact that it has 2 ELRS antennas, ELRS on board. Hands down, the coolest, absolute best attribute to this FC. Finally, we can start moving into a realm where we no longer have to spend 20, 30 bucks on a receiver. Every manufacturer is going to start copying that, just like every manufacturer has been putting ELRS on board on AIOs for a couple of years now. The guys over at ELRS, the way that they have blessed the community with ELRS, designing it, gifting it to the community, giving us a simpler, easier way to manage our fleet, a cheaper way to support our hobby. The fact that it allowed us to take tiny whoops to another level without having to add unnecessary weight and complication to builds by adding a TBS crossfire receiver with a heavy little T antenna that wasn't tuned. Now it's on board. Now we get that functionality on full size FCs for 5-inch and 6-inch and 3-inch and whatever else. It's about time, and Carl did it. And thank you, Carl. I appreciate it. This is the freaking tits right here. That is the freaking tits that you've gone and done that for us. And now I have an opportunity to support you and say thank you and keep up the good work. Y'all, if you haven't looked at this, y'all need to support the community, because I mean, it's taking us to the next level. The thing is for TBS to do something like this, they're going to charge a licensing fee. They're not going just to give their protocol out for free to put on flight controllers. TBS is going to have to follow suit. They're finally starting to kind of catch up with the AIOs, but they're going to have to follow suit. And they'll put out their own flight controller, probably with TBS on board. But if they can't release it to the public without licensing it, so ELRS is saving money. It's keeping the technology moving forward, and I'm excited to see what the manufacturer's going to do. I'm excited to see what TBS is going to do, but in order for other manufacturers to start supporting onboard receivers, It's free with the ELRS. With TBS, it's going to be a licensing fee, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And the performance, you can't get. I'm sorry, you can't get any better than ELRS. You can't. I think Mr. Steele just had a fail-safe in a video he just put out on Facebook. I think it was a fail-safe. I don't know. We'll have to I need to go back and double check and see. But it was kind of scary. But again, all my opinion. But Carl, you rock. HDZero, thank you. That's moving FPV forward in the right direction. All right. So my opinion on this. It's a no. It's a no. All I can say. So, I mean, overall, the build is okay. They took some shortcuts. I don't know if it's shortcuts because they were challenged and couldn't come up with a solution. If it was shortcuts because they were trying to cut costs, but I would steer away from the BTFpv O4, and I definitely stay away from the 65 version. The 65 is too underpowered of a chassis for the extra weight. The 75 is your minimum. This is 80 millimeters. Here's why. So I've been flying this since it came out, and if you can see, I've got some green TPU standoffs, the same ones that I've been using on the Mob Digital design for years. Reason I did that is durability. So when you get yours, the AIO is going to be mounted with white gummies, as you can see there on the bottom. Then the VTX is also going to be mounted with white gummies directly on top of those white gummies for the AIO. There's no support other than just gummy on top of gummy. And then the way they tie in the canopy through the double stacked gummies into the frame is they use a really long M1.4, I think, screw, washer head screw. So instead of coming up with a solid solution, they simply took I should have some gummies in here. I really can't believe it. I mean, I really feel like they just took the easy way out. What they'll do is they'll take 2 gummies and they'll stack them on top of each other, and they just run a long screw through the canopy and through these 2 gummies. And so that gives you from the base of the frame to the top of the screw, it gives you a lot of pivot like this. It's not wise. So I didn't like that, but I went out ripping it. And of course I was ripping it in the warehouse where I do a lot of my flying, especially during the winter on whoops, and it's concrete metal. And 4th crash, I lose video. So I come home and I test it out. Nothing. I grabbed my other Pro. I grabbed my other camera and I put on it. Still no video. I swapped the other way. No video. So in that one crash, the camera and the DJI O4 broke, damaged, and I'm like, well, I can understand the camera, but how did it damage the board too? Sent them off for repairs, $24, not a problem. Got them back, put them back in here. Here's what happened. So besides the flex of the VTX up here on top, being able to move or what have you, the canopy is too soft. It's not a good design. the canopy's too soft, and then the camera itself is suspended with four gummies, right? It's just kind of free floating with 4 gummies, 1 in each quarter. And so it kind of, so you can kind of get this. I don't know if you can see. Let me find. Got to get an angle here. So that the camera just, it's like on shock absorbers. So here's what happens in a crash. Boom, 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 boom. It hits the board. The camera and the camera and the, it just, it's too damn soft. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because you didn't want to totally redesign a new canopy? I mean, probably, but don't cheap out. And there's jello. There's jello. So flying outside, you got jello. The tune, it's okay. There's some prop wash. There's jello, but overall, the build is I don't know. They didn't think it out. So I've gone in and replaced the top gummy for the VTX and put in these TPUs. So there's some rigidity, but there's nothing you can do on this canopy. There's nothing you can do. It's only mounted by three spots, and any top hit, that camera is it's making contact. I don't know if you can see it now. That camera is making contact with the board with me just doing that. Now imagine, boom. So don't do it. Don't do it. I'm waiting to get my hands on the Happy Model O4 version. I'll do some testing on it. Tell you what my thoughts are on it. I'm still partial to my digital design. Now, this is only for just going out and flying for fun. That's all it is. I won't use this for work. I'm still working the design out. Now that I'm done with the O4 Pro, I'm going to pick this back up and stuff. I've been just flying this for fun. The stabilize recording, DJI is going to do some work on the firmware, like we've said in previous videos. But the O4 stabilized recording, it's got that shit jittery stuff or whatever. But I'm not flying the 75mm version for anything other than just pure enjoyment. The nice thing about this is you can see with this canopy that I'm using, I have crashed and I have crashed and I have crashed and I have crashed, and I'm hitting steel beams at full speed. I'm tumbling out of the air and landing on concrete and stuff. I've crashed, and I have not damaged the board or the camera on this. This camera mount that I have, it's hard mounted, so you know what that does to stabilize footage, but it protects. And this is a lot of fun. This little thing's a lot of fun. If I put this canopy on the Happy Model M80 frame, it's going to be a freaking ripper. That's coming. That's coming. That's coming. All right. But it's just for pure fun. You can't do any work with it or what have you, which was my original hope. But I'm going to keep tinkering with the design. But as of right now, this is just for pure fun, flying around, enjoyment, and I'm actually really enjoying it. And like I said, it's been durable as all get out. Now, I'm gonna follow this video up with some test flight videos. The first video I did was the very first test flight of this. I flew it around work, default Betaflight tune. It was not a good tune. It do a flip. And so in the first video, you'll see me do a couple flips. And okay, so this isn't, I didn't design this for freestyle. I designed this to replace my Digital O3 for work. I got a job coming up next month, and I want to go from the O3 to the O4. I'm gonna be flying at basketball tournaments, and this is what I'm gonna use. I usually use the O3, but I'll be using this going forward. So I got my first test flight, no configuration. I don't even think I had my rates on it. I just straight up Betaflight, default everything, set up the ports and stuff like that so I could hurry up and get it. Even I had to pull out my Speedy B adapter because the motors were in the wrong direction and it going in the wrong direction stuff. But because I was in a hurry, it was getting late. I need to get to bed. got to work the next day to do my test flight, finish the configuration on the SpeedyB adapter so it would fly. Got my first test flight in, and it needed eye. It didn't handle the wind well. It was just because of the wind. So it needed a tune, but I was thrilled about the performance that I got out of it, even without the proper tune and setup. I scored 6 minutes 37 seconds of flight on 4K, 120 FPS, with -2 on the was it detail? Is that the configuration? You can go on the camera and you can go up to 2 and down to 2 on sharpness. -2 on the sharpness. And I even with a few test flips and rolls, I got 6 minutes 37 seconds. My motor idle is not set up right. It's 50 grams. So without the proper motor idle, it's going to be a little lethargic at times. And with the proper motor idle, you can get you can get some more stability. You can get some more stability when you're flying close quarters. But I was thrilled about that. 6 minutes 37 seconds. I was shooting for 4 minutes, but I got 6 minutes 37 seconds. Definitely gonna be using this for work. It's supposed to rain, so when I got home, I still had a little sunlight left. Supposed to rain Saturday and today Sunday. So I got another test flight outside around the house, trying to be a little bit more acro, which is not what its intended purpose, but I wanted to see what it would do in the wind, what it would do with, some throttle bursts and some flips and rolls and stuff like that. I scored 5 minutes 52 seconds. Then I brought it in and put it on a tune, put a tune on it. I'm playing with the motor idle speed now. Took it out to the high school today to give it a test flight because I figured that would be pretty good spot because it's not blocked from the wind. And let me see. I took a photograph because it was windy as all get out. I took a photograph so I didn't forget. So one app states gusts up to 13 miles per hour. The other app states, I don't know if you can see that, but right here, 16. And right where I'm flying, it's like it funnels the wind through the 2 buildings of the high school and funnels the wind. And when you see the third video, you'll be able to see, if you're paying attention, you'll be able to see me drifting from left to right. So like that, you'll see me inexplicably slow down because I'm heading into the wind. And then other times you'll see me inexplicably just pick up speed because the wind's, I got a tailwind and the thing is going twice as fast. Because the wind's pushing me around. In my goggles, it's doing this. And I'm having to take wide bursts to gaps and stuff like that because the wind's blowing it around. This isn't meant for outdoors. It's a little 80 millimeter, little tiny lifter. I'm using this in the right scenarios, I'm using this for work. Primarily indoors. I'll fly it outside with the wind right. But once I start going outside, I'm looking at a little bit more robust builds, 3-inch builds, stuff like that. I prefer to fly this around people because this is safe. This is plastic. I'm not going to cut anybody with this. When people start going with carbon fiber 2-inch, 3-inch frames, my Cinexplore, Itsy, stuff like that, when you start flying those around people, you're just, in my opinion, you're just waiting for, you're one fell step away from cutting somebody with carbon. So I'm thrilled. I'm gonna do the videos up so you can see and you can verify for yourself that the flight times I'm telling you are legit. I'm still tinkering with it to try and get down to the absolute perfect setup on it, and then I will do a build video for those that want to build theirs like they did on the O3 and the My Digital Vista. Happy model. y'all were interested in the Vista and never pulled the trigger. Y'all were interested in 03 and never pulled the trigger. Well, I think it's time to pull the trigger on a legitimate this. And like last time, I know y'all decided not to, but if y'all feel like proceeding, working together on it, I'm more than happy. Y'all missed the boat twice now. You're always last at the party. Let me know. I'll be happy to help. Oh, the Dolphin. I forgot. Shoot, I was going to finish on the my digital, but I didn't. I forgot about the Dolphin. So on the Dolphin, so some of the progress I've been making on it. So I've installed the crossband, ELRS crossband, dual Gemini antennas. Came up with these 3D prints to hold those. I can rotate the antennas into different directions. Not a whole lot going here. I don't want to use their GPS, stock GPS. I installed the Flywoo Goku GPS in here. You can see my DJI antennas, and I intentionally have them offset like that, obviously, so that the poles aren't identical. But I'm gonna run the O4 in here. I don't know if you can see, I added 2 more nickel, palladium, or whatever high strength, highly strong magnets up here. I replaced these 2 weaker magnets they come stock with. Created this little tray to hold my O4 and my USB-C USB-C extension, and that's going to go in here up in front. It's going to come in there and mount down in the cavity like that, with the little fan that I can put over top for airflow when it's sitting still. And then, as you saw, as I showed last time, I've got a cavity for my O4. I've added this little nub down here to try and keep the camera off the ground. And then I installed 4 high strength magnets here, and it's going to be in there like that. And when it comes in for landing, this one is lower than this one, but I just don't want the camera. I don't want the camera to in the ground, so I put that so to kind of keep it off and not keep it up even higher. But that's where I am with the Dolphin. I am going to upgrade the motor, and I am going to upgrade the ESC, but I think I may no, I'll do it before I take it for its first flight. I mean, I got to do a little wire management here. Get my receiver mounted in here. But that's where I am. That's where I am with that. But I'm enjoying it. I'm liking everything about it so far. I think those antennas are dope. And I think this is going to be a long range rig for me. Once I get everything set up. But that's where I am on the Dolphin. And I didn't plan on finishing up on it, but yeah, that's where I am. Little passion of love just time to time on that. Oh, the other thing. So I like my Bob 5.7 rigs. Those are my primary. Those are my primary chasing rigs. Now I don't need a GoPro, so I'm going to take these off. And as I take out the O3s, put my O4 in, I got to have a new camera mounting. So working on these. Got these off of a I can't think of the website. STL. I don't remember what the website is. I paid $4 for the design and didn't quite like it, so I've been tweaking it. But wait a minute. Did I print that off backwards? I think I did. There we go. Oh, no. Hold on. Let me see if I can show this to you real quick. I should have done this while it was warm and easy to get the. But I've seen a few people chatting in an iFlight group wondering if they're going to have some, iFlight's going to have support on the Bob 5.7. And as usual, I don't know what it is with iFlight. They have been always extremely lagging on getting support of the Bob 5.7 out there to the community. It took forever to get spare parts listed. It took forever to get STLs, and I still don't even think they've done the STL files. I had to come in and design my own. Let me see if that's yeah, there we go. So that's going to be my new camera mount for the Bob 5.7. So I'm working on that, and I'm going to use a new TPU for this, for the center part. This is just SaneSmart, but now that I've got it all mocked up, yeah, that's finally flush. I've got it mocked up right. I'm going to use this TPU to soft mount the O4. Where's it at? Filaments, TPU. I'm going to use this TPU for the green part to soft mount the O4. I think it's called Recrust Flex. It's a 60A filament. It's going to be a soft TPU, and it's going to replace the screen right here because it's going to be softer than SaneSmart is. All right, I guess that's the rundown. Flight videos of my digital O4 Pro will follow. And as I keep tinkering on it and getting some more test flights in, I will post those up for anybody that's interested. All right, with that said, peace out. Love y'all. Happy flying.